My prom, I went to an all-boys Catholic school in Omaha, Nebraska. I do not recommend letting a bunch of straight boys plan a prom. They were always a little clunky. I took a 20-year-old woman to my prom. She wore like a black cocktail dress. She did not wear a prom dress. And it caused quite a scandal in my Catholic boys' school that I brought like a woman. I brought a woman to prom. I wish that I could have had the experience that Emma ultimately has in the prom. I would have loved to have taken a boy to the prom, but that was not in the cards for me in 1997. I mean, certainly if this film had existed when I was in high school, I would have felt very seen and very understood, and it would have been amazing to see myself reflected, particularly as a young person. There's not like one specific moment, but anytime I would see Meryl Streep look at James and I and just be like, you two are disgusting. That's the level of comfort we got, where I was just super foul in front of Meryl Streep, which is not something I ever thought I would do, but I did. Yeah, I got one. It's not great. It's not great, but I'll tell you. I was lucky enough to get to be in Hamilton, and Lynn asked me if I would step in for 5 weeks to play King George. I don't know how familiar you are with Hamilton, but King George sings, basically it's one song 3 times, right? It's like different versions of the same song. So this was maybe my 4th performance, and I was feeling pretty good, feeling confident, feeling like I was a part of the team. The show had just opened, it was a huge hit, and I started singing my song. And I sang the words from the second version and it's never happened to me before on Broadway, or in any theater. And I messed up. I messed it up. So what I decided to do in that moment, because I really felt like I was, just like left my body, I kept moving my mouth in the hopes that people would think my microphone cut out. So even though I was not making sound and I did not know what the words were, I just kept moving my mouth as if I was singing. And then Alex Slackamore, the conductor, shouted up the lyrics to me, and I got back on track. But I really never recovered from that for the rest of my time there. It was a short stint, it was 5 weeks, but I was terrified every night that it was going to happen again. So that is one of those moments, like even right now, I'm sweating thinking about it. It was not great. It was not great. My first kiss, it was in preschool. Her name was Becky. I know, preschool. Jesus, Rannells, slow down. I mean, it wasn't a real kiss. My first quality, gay kiss, the one that I really count. It was my first boyfriend in college when I came to New York. He was super dreamy. He looked like Jordan Catalano from My So-Called Life. He was really cute. I wanted to be sort of adventurous and fun when I had first moved to New York, but I was still pretty shy about getting intimate with folks when I was young. So I sometimes would get myself into situations where it seemed like something was supposed to happen, and then I would freak out and run. And I remember doing that. I was probably 20 years old and going back to some guy's apartment. And then I said I had to go to the bathroom, and I left and I ran out. It's not great, because I was like, I don't actually want to have sex with this person. What am I doing? And I just ran. I just ran out of the apartment. Not a great look. I probably could have just spoken to him and been like, I don't want to do this. But instead, I fled in the night. The guy I dated my freshman year of college, that was tricky. He was basically gay for a school year and not ultimately a gay person. As sometimes happens in liberal arts colleges, he was given it a shot. I really fell in love with him. And then at the end of that school year, he was like, I don't think I'm gay. And sure enough, he is not gay. He was a liberal arts unicorn. My best date. So my current boyfriend, Tuck Watkins, and I met doing Boys in the Band. And so it was a little murky in terms of timing, because it's not like we met and then he asked me out. It was like we were working together every day, and we were playing boyfriends in the play. So the timeline was a little squishy, but I remember the first time the two of us had lunch together and it felt like a date, and it was in between shows, and I was like, oh, I'm on a date. And it was very exciting. On Broadway, it's called a showmance, when you start dating someone that you're working with. So we were in the midst of a showmance, but then it definitely flipped over to like, oh, I think this is a real thing. I think this is happening. In my early 20s, my very close friends, Sean Dooley and Gavin Creel and I would go to this place that's not open anymore, called Opaline. At the time, there was a mashup of Holiday and Milkshake by Khalees. And I just remember like living my gay life in that dance club with those boys. And that was a lot of fun. So I remember just like really going for it to Khalees and Madonna. Doesn't get gayer than that, folks.